We noticed this last night. There's friends of ours, Dan and Katie. We decided that we were going to reenact their dinner conversation over Twitter, and they were talking about guacamole back and forth. At Jeremiah Lloyd, Katie, can you pass the salsa?
At John Eric Thinks, here you go, Dan. Do you need more tortillas?
At Jeremiah Lloyd, yes, we do. Thanks for asking, Katie. I can't wait for Avengers to come out and to make out with you.
At John Eric Thinks, oh Dan, you're the arc reactor to my Iron Man suit. Hashtag fajitas assemble.
At Jeremiah Lloyd, Katie, that's the hottest thing anyone's ever said to me. I will shield your heart forever.
At John Eric Thinks, oh Dan, you're driving me Loki.
At Jeremiah Lloyd, oh Katie, you make my spidey sense tingle. Hashtag superhero wedding cake, which are getting married.
At John Eric Thinks, oh Dan, you just Hulk smashed my heart.
At Jeremiah Lloyd, oh Katie, speaking of green rage, please pass the guacamole. Hello, Adventure. You know, is it just me or has customer service become a lost art form? I mean, I see sometimes how people interact with other people and, well, let's just say it's not thoughtful. It's actually rude a lot of times. And I think we just don't know how to treat people anymore. So social media, you know, it's just an accelerator, it just amplifies things. So when I see it on social media, I just think, well, that's what's happening in the world. And I think social media allows us to also just do the opposite. You see, I think sometimes what we want to do is we want to prevent any mistakes. But you know what? We're humans, so we're not going to be able to ever prevent mistakes. You know what? I cannot guarantee you that myself or even my team is never going to mess something up. But what I can guarantee you is that we're going to listen and we're going to fix that. That is what I think great customer service is. You know, when I say customer service, what I really mean is just how to be a decent human being, how to treat people. Do we even know how to treat people anymore? It doesn't matter if it's a business or it's your church, or it's your neighbor across the street. It's just learning how to treat people right. You know, when something does go wrong, it actually might be an opportunity for you to even get a more loyal customer or a more loyal friend out of it. You know, this happened to me when we were first starting out, when I just got married and money was hard to come by. We had a banking account. And you know, they messed some things up. And also in turn, what happened was when my wife then went to go buy groceries, there was a problem. And so she was super embarrassed. And I was just mad. And so I called them up and I just was not thoughtful. I just was letting them have it. And the person on the other phone, they said, I'm sorry. And I'm like, I don't care if you're sorry. I want to talk to your manager. I was just upset because it wasn't our fault and they embarrassed us. So I was calling to cancel our account. But what the person did on the phone is they said, where does your wife like to have dinner? And I just said, it's none of your business where. It's none of your business where, my wife. And they said, well, before you close your account, we put a credit on there and we just wanted to say we're sorry. Before you close the account, please go and take your wife out to a nice dinner. We know in that moment, I'm now more loyal to them because with any company, I don't know when they're gonna make a mistake, but with them, I know that they're gonna take care of it. So that is just, customer service is really just how you treat people. And it's every day of your life. And social media allows us to listen, because again, it's not about broadcast, it's about listening. And so there's two really great stories that I want to tell you that involved customer service. Here's one of my favorite ones of all times. So there's this author and he sent this tweet. Think of the idea of not broadcasting, but listening. Hey, at Morton's, you know, Morton's Steakhouse. Hey, at Morton's, could you meet me at the Newark airport with a porterhouse when I land in 2 hours? Okay, thanks. But you know what was hilarious? Morton's had a guy dressed in a tuxedo with a bag that had 24-ounce porterhouse, all the sides, silverware, everything. What did they do? They just wanted to make somebody's day. You know what they did? They saw this, and this wasn't just one guy. I mean, think about the number of people that had to be involved in this. There had to be like a cook, and then somebody had to go and drive it to the airport, and then somebody had to track down a flight. I mean, this was not just a simple thing, but you know what happened? An adventure ensued. Partially what I try to do every day is incite an adventure. And so all these people got to be on this adventure. I think we think about like, oh, wasn't that cool for this guy to get this porterhouse? But you know what's even cooler? The people at Morton's that got to just make somebody's day and be a part of it. You know, not every story that you're gonna run into is just gonna be about some fun way to make somebody's day, but that you can be there in somebody's really tough moment. One of the ones that inspires me is a story of Southwest Airlines where there was a gentleman who had to go fly to Denver because his 3-year-old grandson was going to be taken off life support, and he was trying to make it there just in time to be there before his organs were donated. So his wife booked a last-minute fare and explained the emergency situation. So he headed to the airport, but traffic in LA was really, really bad. So he actually got to the gate 13 minutes after his flight was supposed to leave. But when he got to the gate, he was surprised to see that the plane was still there. And as he boarded the plane, there was the pilot. And the pilot said, "The plane isn't going anywhere without me, and I'm not going anywhere without you. So relax, and I'll get you there on time. And again, I'm sorry." You see, being thoughtful changes everything. So here's what you need to do. Take time for people. You know, it doesn't take that extra time to just leave a comment, to listen and spend some time. When you get too busy for people, you've just gotten too busy. You know, social media is just about being a decent human being. You know, I tell the adventure team that, you know, what our job is just how can we make somebody's day? You know, if when the sun goes down, if we didn't make somebody's day and we didn't help somebody, then we didn't do our job. And so how can we make somebody's day with social media? That's why simple as a like becomes that high five. But actually taking time to pay attention and listen, that's huge for people. But I think what happens is people say, well, it's not my problem. You know what? It might not be your problem, but it's your opportunity. And we have to realize is that no matter what organization you work in, everybody's job is customer service. You know, one of my good friends who's also my pastor, he told a story about his daughter, and his daughter loved this blanket, and she took that blanket everywhere. But one night she lost the blanket and she's devastated. So my friend tells a story about how he got out there with a flashlight and retraced steps and searched the car and just went to the ends of the earth to find this blanket. He didn't love the blanket, but he loved the one who loved the blanket. And I think that's what this is all about, is that I'm willing to crawl on my hands and knees to search for something that I don't care about for somebody who I deeply care about. An adventure that isn't about people, well, that's just an advertising campaign. That's just a crusade. But you and I, we get to be on the greatest adventure of all time. And your adventure begins right now.